What would you do if the system protected the monsters who destroyed your family? 3 wealthy, untouchable men broke my 19-year-old sister, and their powerful parents used corruption to bury the case forever. They thought their money made them gods, completely safe behind iron doors and legal alibis. But they forgot one crucial detail. I am a former military surgeon, and I know exactly how every human body operates. This is the complete, dark account of how I used my professional skills to execute a silent, clinical retribution against the city's elite, removing the cancer of this city one cell at a time. If you want to hear more raw, intense stories of unconventional justice, subscribe to the channel right now so you never miss a single upcoming narrative. Now, let us begin the operation. The human heart weighs exactly 300 grams.
Reflective. I know this because I have held it in my hands. I have felt it shudder, desperate and wet, fighting against the finality of a shrapnel tear. For 10 years as a military surgeon, my life was measured in millimeters and seconds. If you slice a fraction to the left, the screaming stops forever. If you press too hard, the soul slips through your fingers like cheap silk. I used to believe that my hands were built to stitch the world back together. I was wrong. Some things are broken so profoundly that thread and needle become an insult. Some things can only be healed by an incision. When I left the service, my chest felt like an empty operating theater. Cold, sterile, quiet. The only warmth left in my universe was Anya, my little sister, 19 years old. She was the kind of girl who still saved stray birds in the winter, who laughed with her whole body, whose eyes held the clean, blinding blue of a summer sky before the storm.
Our mother died in a hospital bed holding my hand, whispering a single command: keep her safe. I swore an oath, not to the state, not to God, but to the dying woman who gave me life. It happened on a Tuesday. The air smelled of burnt leaves and oncoming rain. Anya had gone to the local market just 2 blocks away to buy fresh fruit. A 20-minute walk. By midnight, the tea on our kitchen table had grown a skin of cold dust. My pulse, usually a steady 60 beats per minute, began to stutter. The door didn't open. It groaned. Anya slipped into the hallway like a shadow detached from its wall. She didn't cry. I wish to God she had cried. She stood there, her knees scraping against each other, her white summer dress shredded into dirty ribbons, stained with grease, mud, and the sticky, sickening reek of expensive French champagne. But it wasn't the blood on her thighs that broke me. It was her face. The features were all there, but the person was gone. The summer sky in her eyes had been burned out, replaced by a cold, dead gray ash. She collapsed into my arms, not as a sister hugging a brother, but as a corpse falls when the rope is cut. I carried her to the bathroom. I filled the tub. My hands, the hands that had operated under mortar fire without a single tremor, were steady as marble. But behind my ribs, a heavy iron vault slammed shut. As I washed the dirt and horror from her skin, she spoke in a flat, mechanical whisper. 3 names. 3 boys who owned this city because their parents owned the soil it was built on. Vadim, the billionaire's only son, a creature who treated people like disposable plastic. Boris, a heavyweight boxing champion, a mountain of muscle whose violence was financed and hidden by elite sports cartels. And Major Pashtet, the chief of the Central Police Precinct, the man who was supposed to be the shield, but instead became the lock on the door. They had dragged her from the sidewalk into a high-rise penthouse. They kept her for 4 hours. They laughed. They took videos.
If you want to know what happens next in this clinical operation of revenge, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next episode. And remember, the full, complete story is already available on my second channel, The Red Vigilante. Stay safe and see you in the next part.